Welcome to Success Superstars, episode number 195. It's your place for inspiration and the blueprint of success for peak performers just like you. And my special guest today, Jenna Harris.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm very grateful, very honored.
Thank you. As one of the top 15 agents in the company, it's my honor to hear how you've created so much success.
I hear that, and it still surprises me.
I know. When I mentioned it to you, you said, really?
Yeah.
So the top 1%, which we'll talk about later, but what's your journey? How did you get into this amazing place?
Well, it was a difficult journey, and it has been a journey that I've been on 3 times, not just once.
Oh, so 3 times. It's not your first rodeo.
Yes, not my first rodeo. It's been a very unusual time, and
Right.
it's been, I honestly kind of feel like I grew up in this industry because I became a real estate agent, and then I became a fiance, and then I became a wife, and then I became a mom. All these things happened in life while I was building 3 real estate businesses, basically. And It has been a wild journey that I feel like every new phase has brought me to some new uncomfortable place that has grown fruit, though. From those seeds, something really wonderful grew. So it's been awesome.
Well, so I know we're going to talk about challenges and overcoming things, but have you always been someone who faces challenge, overcomes things, or did you have to build that skill?
I definitely had to build it.
Okay.
I think from the time I had to pinpoint it. I took one of those classes where you go look back in your past.
Oh, yeah.
And I have been a perfectionist since I was a child. It was just innate. And honestly, that's a trait that is really difficult to undo and retrain in a business where literally failure is your best way forward.
Right.
And that was really hard for me. And I came also from sales in a different industry, which I did well in, but it was a comfortable industry for me because I was always involved in the arts.
Right.
And so when I came into real estate, it was this huge world, and I had all these ideas of what it was going to be, and it was all of that and more, but also completely different.
Right.
And it was scary. It was really scary, but it has, again, it's changed me and it's changed my mindset, and I have had to let go of that perfectionism.
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes is, perfection is not a standard, progress is.
I love that.
And now, one of the things you shared with me is that you had, in one of your early on careers, a lot of success, a lot of career success, a lot of financial success, but the fulfillment was gone. And tell us about that and how that drove you to another place.
That's so true. And what you're referencing is basically that I built a residential business in real estate. And then I got out of that to move into the investment world, which is what I really thought I wanted when I first got into the industry. And I was making about $500,000 a year. I was pushing a lot of volume. I was a brand new mom. But I had lost, literally, I remember sitting looking at my bank account and feeling empty. And it was just, I missed being that proponent of the client. I was the proponent of my client. That's why I was successful, because I was like a bulldog.
Right.
But I wanted to teach the public and help the public and aid the public, as opposed to a big corporation, as opposed to a big investor. And I remember being like, why don't I like this anymore? I think I have what everyone wants to have, and it's just, everything's missing. It doesn't feel right. And at that time, I decided to start over, and that was also really difficult. I had clients that were loyal to me that I would not take with me. Wow. It's like blood money.
Right.
And I said, no, these folks will take care of you. And I literally remember being like, oh my gosh, how long can I sustain this level of business overhead? Because I did not want to let my employees go and my team and really be starting over. And so we rebranded, started over, and that's what became the SEAL Group. And that fire comes from protecting the client and also having the purpose of seeing my team members grow. That to me now is what I look forward to every day.
It's really servant leadership.
Yes.
I mean, as I think about you, you're a servant leader, and
thank you.
With that, it comes the satisfaction of seeing the client grow, seeing the team members grow.
Absolutely.
And at least I found as a coach, You grow just as much, if not more,
Oh yeah.
through that. Now, so fast forward. Has this been easy? Has there been, like, what's been a couple of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome?
The biggest challenges initially were change of mindset and expectations. Now that I'm in a different place in my business, it's letting go. Honestly, for me, this is probably a personal thing. I had to let go of me focusing on my own strength to make things happen. You have to be able to train other people how to be their own badass, pardon my language.
Right,
It's
no.
okay to say on camera.
We can beep that out. But
There you go. You have to train other people how to become that. And that is, from a leadership perspective, is a completely different skill set.
got it.
And it's trusting myself and others at the same time, because I have to trust that I can actually help them become that. And then I have to trust them to carry the banner. And I also like to pull on strength from my faith, because if I was trying to do, and I mean, this is a small scale, honestly, compared to some other agents and other people out there, I'm on a very small scale still. But for me, I used to put so much pressure on myself. Oh my gosh, I have these employees. Am I going to make enough money the next year? You know, and really, honestly, if you focus on making other people successful and you have integrity, the business will come. If you are consistent with the phone calls, all the things that agents don't like to do every day.
The daily habits, isn't it?
Daily habits.
Isn't it really? I think you said it earlier that all of the success comes down to the daily.
Yes. It's every day waking up, and it's a new day, and you also have to learn to let go what happened yesterday, because we know real estate, and you have to focus. You have to be consistent.
Yeah.
And also, too, if you're consistent for a year or two, the consistency becomes exponential. And so if there's any new agents watching this, don't let yourself become weary and discouraged, because I talked to a new agent yesterday on the phone, and I won't say who it is, but I loved that conversation more than the rest of them, because he opened my eyes and made me remember. He was like, I'm closing 17 transactions in my second year. I'm like, first of all, be freaking proud of yourself.
Yeah, that's big.
Because that's awesome. And he was like, how do I go to the next level? And it was all about consistency and learning how to qualify people better. It just came down to those two little things, and next year he's going to double.
Wow. So this is amazing. You know, being the top 1% in anything is an accomplishment. So,
Thank you.
you know, 15 out of 2,200 is pretty amazing. So everyone ought to be taking lots of notes and listening in to Jenna. Now, Jenna, recently we came to you and proposed broadening your servant leadership into
Yes.
a role called a productivity coach. Are you excited about that?
I'm so stoked. I literally yesterday had my first 5 appointments, and I left the office so energized, and it was the most fun I'd had in so long. It was really, really fun. And I also learned so much on those calls. And I even really, my mindset in some ways, looking at little different things in the industry, began to change too. And it was really, really fun. And what I really like to focus on when I'm talking with somebody is, if you don't leave with something tangible that you can do, I failed. So at the end of every call, I wanted someone to leave with something to do, new questions they can ask their clients to accomplish X, Y, and Z, something truly tangible. Because we can talk about mindset and ideas all day long, but that's kind of harder. That's a long-term thing to work on. What can we put our finger on today that tomorrow or immediately you can go do, and it's going to make a difference. So that was really fun.
And I can tell just in your demeanor and in your eyes light up, it's connected to your purpose.
Yes.
It gives you that reason to be a servant leader and to make an influential difference. Now, for those of you listening in a sense, what Jenna has done is started another business. So she has her thriving business. She's built that to a scalability, and you have that working for you, and that's still going to be a business. And now you've added this other component. So for some of you, that's a formula for success, right?
Yes, absolutely. And what I love too is talking to the agents yesterday. There are, and I think it's still extremely valuable, there are lots of coaches out there, but if you're at JPAR, you can work with 2 coaches every week. And what I think is really valuable about that is we're both in production still.
Right.
And or leading a team. And so I think that makes it, we know what's going on. We know the trends. We know the new questions people are asking. And so it can really, it's different. It's not the same old sales tactics. It's literally,
it's relevant.
Yeah.
It's relevant to what's happening today. Well, as we wrap up this episode, is there anything about success, challenges, mindset, overcoming? Is there anything that we haven't covered that you want to make sure gets out there?
We've talked about the daily habits.
Right.
That's everything. And also getting uncomfortable. We kind of touched on that. This today for me was uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, you were nervous, but you're doing
really
great.
Nervous.
Yeah.
And, to make it really personal, part of, work-life balance, I think, is something agents struggle with.
Totally.
And I would love to hop on the phone with one-on-ones with anybody because, and this is kind of something that I mentioned to just a few people in my life, but part of the reason I was uncomfortable in this is because I've been on a weight loss journey because I have been so busy over the years with business, that part of my life I really let go. And so it was really uncomfortable for me to get on the camera today.
Right.
But I almost felt like I wanted to bring that to the forefront because we all have those little things in our lives. And for me, part of a big piece of my journey every day is waking up and getting uncomfortable and working on that part of me too. And I would encourage agents to find that one thing that's holding them back, because I didn't want to be on camera.
Right.
Find that one thing that's holding you back from everything else.
She didn't want to be here today, and I had to push her. Aren't you glad I pushed her to be here to share this amazing story?
I wanted to be on Zoom, so you get the...
I know. She wanted to be on Zoom, and I was like, no.
I appreciate you doing that and helping me just be myself.
But I've seen that throughout the conversation we've had today. Everything in your success, has you been pushing yourself a little bit to be uncomfortable? How did you develop that trait?
I think the first time I had the luck of, and it, for me it was luck. For somebody else, it's going to be doing it on purpose. I was at an audition, a ballet audition, when I was 7 or 8 years old, and somebody had me do a little something, and they recognized talent, and it was something I had no idea that I had at the time, and I had to do this little solo thingy, and I was like, I had no idea I was even good at this, and that was just luck. But every time after that, it has been, that was a good thing that happened.
Because it was then by design.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a good thing that happened, and at first I really didn't like it, and I was really freaked out, but that was a good thing, and it made me think, okay, that one time I did something uncomfortable, I got something good out of it, and it was almost like maybe Pavlov's dog.
Yeah. It's a trigger.
It was a trigger.
Yeah.
And you can train triggers.
Absolutely. Both ways.
Yes.
Negative and positive.
Definitely.
Right?
And so that made me think, oh, if I do something uncomfortable again that is in the direction I want to go, it's going to give me possibly something good again.
Yeah.
And so it has become a trained habit.
You know what I think it is?
time.
And this could be the quote of the episode. I think it is your goals and ambition, your purpose, your desire to serve is greater than your fears.
That's very true.
And
I agree.
And that's what makes you so amazing. Thank you for coming in and joining us today.
Thank you. I'm excited.
And a great episode. And with that, that's a wrap for this episode 195 of Success Superstars. Until we see you again, may your choices reflect your hopes and not your fears. Take care.